asum. Now obi anim say na minority ne ba parliament no na sebio omo de cocoa nsem. In fact omo dress black na no kuta cocoa a omo de kire say o omo de omo ni cocoa ekuafo enenam na ende de omo do cocoa ekuafo. So we Ghana ni na wo hwem ya before I enter and as I me call the president kamu in summer or kan parliament ende no me pese oti bibia se. Politics in Ghana are very complex. And a year Nana Danko Kufuado neba umia 8 years omo bedi Ghana so no. Omo Ghana for abeti a year amanyo asamso asipa. Now so many Ghanaians now understand what politics CBT the dynamics when people are trying to lie to them, when people are trying to use them, and also when politicians, let me say it that way, when politicians are trying to use them as leverage. Now you can see that a year President Ekan a year State of the Nation on the Ghana for Edin Komo Ede in Semina etu yenim ewie no minority omi MPP for no koko nsema na etua omano a omudi wura parliament no omu pie free parliament no you don't really hear them speaking on the cocoa matter because sena omu asempa ka said the president bekan in the State of the Nation and I say nensema oni Ghana bekan no sensema bekan say na entwasum efa cocoa ho ne Ghana sensem ho a anka ba hu senka president kasa wie no anka omu talking point pa ebeye about cocoa farmers. But on say adebisiye president kasa wie no minority ka kire say oh almost the State of the Nation beba na yem mo atel be adwada ekire ho bebi omankasa so e de omde beba na de na wanwa pa ne say after president kasa wie yo nyina free parliament no say wutie nyina e wo radio so any TV so a they are not even really talking about the cocoa na ekutakuta omo so cocoa kuafo da omakoma so no. They are now trying to make it look like say when he be president no they all can settings omo sheda ni assembly a omo gina so aka say president no be kan no in fact okan we ni nyina ya tro ebesi time a me no woka say the minority in parliament omo ko radio so omo ko TV so omo ana omo di koko ekuafo politics a omo di koko okutaye metima ka kire say minority MPs are normal parliament 90% of them this is the first time I almost so cocoa ekuta cocoa physical cocoa MPP for MPs no 90% are not cocoa no ekuta omo parliament no omo first time I almost so cocoa nie na omo sheda enso cocoa mu da omo nim senia cocoa ankasa netie de bia no mu cocoa TV so anase omo cocoa e wo den e wo bookum. Inti ended your mobile and no be say or people were thinking that after the president's speech, the minority leader Krano, he was basically going to base all his response on the cocoa issue they are bringing up by force. But interestingly, minority didn't opportunity to speak to the president. They could not even stay on the cocoa matter because time Mahama Kasawi Ghana for Yinabe say Koko won sensem no MPP for ye propaganda jandam ya tro and omo person the cocoa farmers no ye now omo wie State of the Nation president akinkan wie and the whole day ye ne MPP for atena eti omo radio so ye ti omo TV so ye ti omo baby bebre social media. Interestingly, they are not interested in the cocoa conversation again. Adentina MPP4 are not interested in the cocoa conversation. Adentina cocoa en komono omuntumi endin biem. Adesisia no aise omo de tete. Adesisia no omo nam ena omo hwehwe communities a omo hu se oh hade e vote kakra wa ha. Hade ekuafo kakra wa ha. Yenko ne yenko dada omo. They did not even make that cocoa na nekuta omo their priority today. Until you can go back and go listen to all of their communicators and also the MPs are no more parliament. And say, why wasn't cocoa their main conversation? The reason was that cocoa and nobody dada cocoa 90% of MPs are no more parliament in there. Cocoa and no mu bi da physical no mu so bi mu da. Na omu enim senya cocoa and kasatie. 10% of MPs are no more parliament in there. Koko anekuta omo no mu bi da physical no mu so bi mu da na omo enim sene koko ankasa tie. This was the first time omo so koko mu na de ama eye koko nkomo no omo ntime ndi biem anase sesia no Ghana for kuafo dodo ne hu se MPP for nka no kra ne se ende ye nyina ya be hu se eba cocoa ebo ende dia beto dwa ene se Ivory Coast for ebeti omu cocoa ne so ende ana ochina omu dia beto dwa se omu cocoa no omu beti so na omu beti so akoduru sen ye ka kire Ghana for se NDC aban ene John Mahama aban cocoa kuafo die ehia omu no ene hia aban we and John Mahama kan ende o say there is no way cocoa kuafo mo Ghana ono na aban ebebu cocoa kuafo and the esi ewo eye Ivory Coast ne say omu cocoa na sebio ni adwen say omu de omu cocoa no ebo no woso chaye no and the Ivory Coast for aban say omu ti cocoa no so aba fom now etena cocoa na omu ti aba fom no omu ti so sen na so omu ti so a omu ne Ghana for cocoa kuafo hwana mo na sika beba omu nsem and the abeto dwane say and the uton Ghana cocoa bottle baako eto Ivory Coast for cocoa bottle mienu and the wo Ghana now wo cocoa bottle baako etumi to Ivory Coast for cocoa bottle mienu busa ho say eye dan na ewiase afa na nyina ye nyina nim se cocoa price no every 12,000 a ton ababedu 3,000 still NDC aban John Mahama aban etumi eton cocoa sebio cocoa kuafo mo Ghana cocoa sebio omo ye tofiri omo no ne boy ya din echen Ivory Coast ne boy ya din echen Nigeria and ne boy ya din echen den Cameroon. Now shade, this is what is happening now when it comes to cocoa and worldwide the AC Ivory Coast enie. So wo hye eye Ghana ni cocoa nkitankudi a ene John Mahama kan kre no ya ka kire mo amunyina munim cocoa kuafo munti na meye we ansa na mekwa kobo Mahama no asem any state of the nation in some okan no be be say yeti we free ho now upko Ivory Coast and them no ka say a kilogram of cocoa no aban ne say obeto no between 800 sefa to 1,000 sefa 800 sefa to 1,000 sefa. Now, oba Ghana, yani cocoa no, a ton, Ivory Coast for normal cano, a 1 bag kilograms. Now, so equivalent per ton na. So Ivory Coast and the Ivory Coast buying a to cocoa ton ba kubiano, almost ton between $1,450 to $1,180. So the bag Ghana sikemua. Ivory Coast for ton no omo ton $3,580 a ton. Ivory Coast for cocoa 16 bags no omo ton between $1,450 to $1,800. Oba Ghana cocoa ton baako cocoa bottom kwa edunsia a ebe ton no Ghana aban etono 3,800 and 580 where 2025 2026 crop season. Now so uko wenima that means say udru equivalent per kilograms per bag na and the oko Ivory Coast yato cocoa bag bia no omotono between 1,400 Ghana cedis to 1,800 Ghana cedis untumi ento eye Ivory Coast cocoa bag bottle bag could be over 1,800 Ghana cedis. And so in the over Ghana, na se auto a cocoa bag, and the cocoa bag could be a 2,587 Ghana cedis. 2,587 Ghana cedis per bag. Inti and the way Ghana cocoa near. And now you cocoa kwenia. So ukuta 1 bag of a cocoa bottle 1 bagger. To meet to Ivory Coast for cocoa bottom mienu. Inti sawati asia. Mena oka say sa cocoa na omusene boya ding. John Mahama ebu cocoa kuafo Ghana. John Mahama sebio ondo cocoa kuafo no and world news and the hona mede no so be wo any other fact or say yeboa onfa ne de nemra entiende utam Ivory Coast for cocoa bag ba ko a ewo Ivory Coast a omoton between 800 sefa to 1000 sefa 800 sefa to 1000 sefa no o de ba Ghana ana o de call dollars mu a eye $1,450 to 1,800 so o de ba eye cedis mu a and the utam cocoa bottle ba ko ewo Ivory Coast Ivory Coast buying eto cocoa bottle ba ko bia o de ba eye and $50 to 1,800 so what the ba eye cedis mu a and the utam cocoa bottle ba ko ewo Ivory Coast buying eto cocoa bottle ba ko bia o de ba eye Ghana sike mu a 1,400 what tomana bro so cry 1,800 and the Ivory Coast are buying eto cocoa bottle ba ko bia do atoma ne bo no aye din pa 1,800 Ghana cedis bottle ba ko send the over Ghana buying eye John Mahama buying eto cocoa bottle ba ko bia 2,587 Ghana cedis per bag. It is our check here. I'm reduce cocoa na a bono just 28.6%. It's from 3,580 no. John Mahama make sure say cocoa ekuyafo no ya anti cocoa no so to the point sebio Ivory Coast for crampo cocoa bo be din achenye. It is anyway cocoa kuyani wo Ghana. Na se MPP ni ebegyina wenima na wabusa ne se MPP ni se si anomate de omo ka nyina yate se bi okoko ayeye no omo a ye ne omo airpreso ewo eye Africa ha eye Ivory Coast for me am ye Ghana ni sisi ano Ghana ni koko kuani no se me de mi koko ko Ivory Coast e beto ne sen aya mumusa MPP for sa question no mumusa omo se me ye Ghana ni koko kuani mumusa MPP for enyumre say MPP foi enda me no ka say samitam koko bottle ba akoko Ivory Coast for beto ne sen me pese me hu se ma ban na e wo Ghana na ebu mi ana se embu me eno na be mo hu se MPP foi ye nkwasiafo ana so mo nya nkwasiafo it is simple to make it easy no to make it very easy no Ghana's price is significantly higher than Ivory Coast new 800 to 1,000 sefa per kilogram. Now, farmers in Ghana currently earn about 2,587 per bag, while Ivorian farmers, as we speak, under the new cut, earn close to 1,450 to 1,800 per bag. For a farmer's perspective, Ghana's price is better even after their emergency cut. Now, Ivory Coast's drastic reduction is aimed at clearing stock and restoring competitiveness, but it severely impacts farmers' income. The reason why in Ivory Coast for crampono cocoa no ompese omoteso ebedu 1,018 ne say omo cocoa no abroso omo stock cocoa man abroso me beka kire mo ha say Brazil for a omoto eye cocoa free Ivory Coast omo so omo pese omo beto ni nyina ne say omo so omo nji cocoa ni ndi ebi wo ha eye galamsey cocoa ebi wo ha yare wom ebi wo so makototo ne bebi a omo nim bebi efri enti Ivory Coast for no kra no cocoa ebuso e ma aban ne kra pontumi mo musika kese aban ne say no cocoa bottle ba ku bi obeto 1,800 Ghana, that is the highest. Otono as low as 1,400 Ghana. It is MPP for ba wa now your cocoa ni anadwi a MPP ni bia begina wo no say MPP mate o say NDC for so number may say 7,000 some may 6,000 ya tiase ewiase enye nkwa de dua cocoa Ivory Coast for so dua cocoa at a point under MPP near the cocoa no come Ivory Coast for to if you say no mo bo no ye chen ye ne nyina ti krom ha na Ghana kuafo etam cocoa bottle de ko Ivory Coast koton if you say na Ivory Coast for bo no na eye enti mummusa MPP for na anadwo maba mo ho no say we de asrem o ya no sisumina so ya mpese ebedi matam sa munim nyansa senda na twi mi cocoa kuani because demonstration won crying because ka cha ban ne say onto cocoa nim se sia no mebu afu me pese betam cocoa bottle ko Ivory Coast am beto ne sen enti we it's just a message to cocoa kuafo mo Ghana wa wo cocoa bia no bra wo ho ase na sebio pe ekwan bi so na aban ento efiri se de ekọ no wontumi entam koko enko Cote d'Ivoire because koko bo na Cote d'Ivoire no e wo fom e chen Ghana enche bia se yen close e border na ye bo se Cote d'Ivoire for ewia koko de ba Ghana beton na se Cote d'Ivoire for no etumi enyanko for Ghana de koko de momo na omo fam akuafo de chikoton ma aban a that means se mo koko de be mo ka tie me we koko kuani atie me MPP for gina woni mu keka nkwase asem and the Ivory Coast for be hu se Ghana for koko ni boy ding e Ivory Coast de mo kai say a year or 2 or 3 ago na Ivory Coast for koko no na ne boy din chen Ghana de na mo Ghana for koko ekuafo ya bi na mo twum koko no sebio ebi mu efa ho e de Cote d'Ivoire koton sesi a epono na dane table no a shift information yenya no Ivory Coast ne say Oma ban se koko no obeton ama omo eye 1400 Ghana a bag. Omo so koko ebu omo so Ivory Coast ho. Koko apatana ye ma. Oma te se Ghana ye to koko bia 2580 a bag. Information amede ma on say Ivory Coast for koko ekuafo no omo ne MPP for the bi kasa say omo betuma agi omo koko na aton wo Ghana amomo. Tie uye koko kwani a tie de make a chiro no so we Ghana koko akuani a Ivory Coast for no omo air plan say omo de omo koko de baba Ghana abeton sa politicians ya omo na omo aban mu a MPP for na omo ne Ivory Coast for din sa wo so e ka chiro so omo fam koko nkoto wo ho no Ivory Coast for ni omo start ne MPP for no e di nkomo omo be di omo koko no e ba Ghana na sa omo de omo koko ne ba Ghana Cocoa board de ebede no mo hu se cocoa no efiri asankregwa ana efiri bono ana efiri sehwi cocoa board de cocoa no ohwe na owe na cocoa no nseye na cocoa gina na so a obeto enti se mo anhwe ye a mu cocoa na mo se monton no eye Ivory Coast for ba beton o mu cocoa no ama Ghana aban na mutifie eye MPP ende news aba no exclusive Ivory Coast to cut farmer cocoa price with earlier start of mid-crop, sources say. It is all a cocoa kuani na Ghana. Na oda wuti cocoa so ka say MPP for say Ivory Coast for neba. Cote d'Ivoire for the cocoa neba. So obedi MPP for echi mama kan kwase sem we a kyerɛw. The aban we ayamau. Eye aban we efutu om de amau. Aban we etumi atena ho adwene koko kwani ho and yet to cocoa bag 2580 and the Cote d'Ivoire cocoa bag 1400 almost how cocoa chain almost sa benye almost sa ni munkofo Ghana almost sa ebe twi cocoa na sa dia ba Ghana aban so already so obeto cocoa no 2005 na we processing o Ghana dudo bia o hobi obeto into Ghana cocoa ni kwani na wo di MPP echi say ye ntiase a Moti ha na Ivory Coast for beton mu koko ni nyina ma Ghana aban Moti krom ha na Ivory Coast abeton omu koko nyina dia ma Ghana aban na mu koko na sei obanyansafo yebuni be sa nkwasiafo we inform wo they don't care MPP for inform ho the more your politics. So this is coming from the president, Mr. President myself. Monyan in term na mo fam koko ni koma koko board no mo nto no mo ma mo boto bia 2500 Ghana because Cote d'Ivoire for deba. Mo amunim sane amutumi wuro mu koton wo ho no omo so betumi wuro ma beton wo ha. Aban ne de border na ogina so na enya ni nyina no betuma stop it. Into we de efuto ne de ma mo after today no emu atwa yanka koko asemu biam wa koko aka wapatem se wentuma anton a sebio also koton ma MPP if you say aban aka achrew Ivory Coast for koko bottle 1004 Ghana koko bottle 2580 mienu we choose baako Ivory Coast for na ba Cote d'Ivoire for na ba omo de koko na ba because cocoa ne bu omo so aban se cocoa no ebu omo so obi ani wa auto mu cocoa it is why ready so why ready say cocoa no be kipu a ene kipi because yeah the yan say cocoa aba ye beto unya ready say obeton a tena ho so obeso de ko Ivory Coast so a pro ne da ho fa ko bottle ba ku bi 1004 me da say